And we're going to come on down and let's see how our spine is. So we're going to charge it up here and loosen it up and bring our knees to our chest and just rock a little side to side and make some circles. And go in both directions. And then we're going to put our feet down, arms over our head or just comfortably, and take a few breaths. Feel how long your body is right here. As you lengthen your arms, kind of roll the shoulders down. And take another deep breath. And then let's bring our elbows toward each other. So open and close the arms just to wake up our shoulders and our chest. And notice while you're doing this where the tightness is in your body, and we're just going to work all of that out. And let's leave our arms open in a goalpost position, or just stretch your arms out in a big T position, whatever's comfortable. We're going to turn our head over to the right and take a breath. And then over to the left, same thing, take a deep breath. And we're going to come back to the center and let's start doing some pelvic tilts. Just bring your arms wherever you like. And really squeeze everything in toward the midline. So feel where your navel is and feel how everything is coming in toward the center. And slowly start to lift the hips just a ½ inch and keep going. So you're really engaging the bigger muscles, the glutes and the quads. And now we're going to slowly start to inhale and lift the hips up, reaching the arms up and stretching, and then bring everything down. And let's do a few of these, lengthening the spine. And see if you can do one more super slowly so you feel control over that middle section or navel area. And we're going to hold our hips up, hold the arms up. And take a couple more slow breaths as we press our feet down. And then let's slowly lower down, and we're going to bring our hands behind our head, right knee to the left elbow. So we're going to do some diagonal stretches and then switch. And a few more. And let's do one more to each leg. And then we're going to bring our feet down and let's take our arms out in a T and come into our stretch. So knees over to the right, we're twisting the upper body to the left, and feel the left arm lengthening as you breathe. Notice how the ribs are opening. And let's go to the other side with the legs and twist the legs to the left, turn our head to the right, and just notice the difference in this side as you lengthen your right arm. And we're going to bring the legs back to the center. Arms come down. Let's roll the hips up. Walk the shoulder blades together and take 3 breaths. And then we're going to grab a hold of our block and let's put it underneath us. And we're going to bring the legs up toward the ceiling, straight up, and point and flex our feet. And make some circles with our feet. Just stretch the toes. And circle the feet in the opposite direction. Really good. So we're going to bring our big toes together. So we're turning our feet, the ankles out. Just feel the difference in your legs and then switch. Bring the heels together. Like we're in, what is that, second position, first position? I don't know. And then try it again. Feel that rotation. We're feeling the rotation in the hips. Let's bring the ankles or heels together. Extend through the legs. And then release the legs normally. So it's like you're walking on the ceiling, and start to do a little walking on the ceiling, flexing the feet. Notice what's happening in your hips. So we're stabilizing right down on the block, hips pressing down, and keep going with the legs. They're still flexed, the feet, and then point the toes, do the same thing. Feel the difference, the different muscles that are working. We're just waking up the legs a little bit. And then you can flex the feet and start some big backwards bicycles. And keep breathing. And then let's go forward with the bicycles. And start to walk the legs down. So you're going to bring one knee toward the chest and extend the other leg. And notice how we're really strengthening the core, the lower abdomen. Let's do a few more. Really good. Let's walk them back up. And now they're at the top. And we're going to open our legs out and in. So inner legs and outer legs. Extending through the heels, flexing the feet. Now we're going to hold our legs open. Notice how the hips are pressing down and extend through the heels. And then slowly bring the legs back together. So we're feeling gravity here. We're helping strengthen our legs. Let's bend our legs so they're 90 degrees, and we're going to open the knees out and in. And let's add the arms at the same time. Elbows in and out in opposition with the legs. And a couple more. And last one. We'll bring the arms down. We're going to start to tap the toes down with each foot. And then flexing the feet, tap the heels down. Feel how the legs are working, like we're going up the stairs. Last one, and then put both feet down and just feel. Take a couple more deep breaths. And we're going to cross the right foot over the left thigh. And you know how we've been doing this? We bring that right knee toward the midline and then out to the side as you press the right side of your foot into the left leg. So kind of using it like a lever, resisting the movement. Let's do a couple more. So all of these ligaments that we're working on, these, we're strengthening everything, helping the hip, helping the legs, and ultimately it helps us stay mobile. Now we're going to take that leg back out and bring the leg up. So stretching the outside of your right hip, the piriformis muscle, those glutes in there, and a few more breaths. And then let's put our foot down and uncross, and we're going to switch. So left foot over the right leg, and we're going to start by bringing that knee toward the midline and out to the side, and keeping pressure in the hip and the leg as you do this. And even noticing how your core is involved in this. So it's strong, those transverse abdominis muscles. And a couple more. And then let the leg come out to the side. And we're going to lift that other leg up, right leg up, and stretch that left piriformis. And a couple more deep breaths. And then let's put our foot down and uncross. And now we're going to take our feet together on the floor. So Baddha Konasana, and kind of do a pelvic tilt here. So feel the pressure of the feet pressing together and what that's doing to your inner leg and the groin. We'll bring our arms over our head so we can breathe more deeply. And feel that 3-part breath in the belly and how the ribs are opening and the upper chest is lifting. At the same time, the groin is opening. Now we're going to bring our arms down and press the legs together. And we're going to put our feet on the mat and press the knees together and lift up and lower. And we're going to do a few of these, really strengthening through the hips and the legs. Little squeezes. One more and hold your hips up. And squeeze the legs together, the thighs together. Couple more breaths. And then slide that block away from you, and let's put the block now, hips down. We're going to put the block between our knees. Take our knees up so our arms are out in a T, and let's take our legs over to the right. They almost touch. And then over to the left. So obliques. So we're seeing how everything is put together in our body. From the hips now to the sides of our body, and go side to side. Each time come a little bit lower. And one more time to each side. And then let's come back to the center, and we're going to put our feet down on the mat and take the block away. And let's roll over to the side and come on up. And let's sit cross-legged. So we're crisscross applesauce. Just notice here, you're welcome to sit on your block, but how your hips feel grounded as you lengthen your spine. We're going to take our right ear toward the right shoulder as we continue to lengthen the spine. And then over to the other side, left ear toward the left shoulder. And come back to the center and an easy forward fold, walking your fingers away. And then walking the arms to the right. And over to the left. And back to the center. And let's roll up and take our right hand down to the mat, left arm over. And let's go to the other side. Left hand down, right arm over. And slowly come back to the center. We're going to reach both arms up over our head. Clasp the hands over our head, lean to the right. So we're using our obliques again, and then leaning to the left. And let's come back to the center and bring our arms in a goal post position. So we're sitting up tall. We're going to twist to the right. And then twist to the left. Back to the center and do our Santa hug arms and forward fold. Just take a few breaths. And we're going to come on up and bring our arms down and flip the palms up on our lap and just breathe. Feel how the spine is lengthening. And notice that 3-part breath. And then we're going to uncross our legs, put our legs down on the mat. So we're going to see about our core here. we're going to bring our arms forward, lift the right leg up, and put it down, and then the left. So without leaning back, just see, you might not bring it up more than an inch. Just see what muscles you're using in your legs, what ligaments. One more time. And now doing those rowboats, lengthening, hinging forward and hinging back. Pressing the back of the legs down on the mat. Do a few more. And just one more time. And we're going to put our hands down by our hips and squeeze the shoulder blades together and look up. Really good. And then come back to the center. So Dandasana, we're going to take our right leg, we're going to do a little hip thing. You know how we hold the foot, a little rock-a-baby? So wherever you hold the leg, sometimes you can put it in the crook of your arm, some days not so much. And just kind of give it a little rock, make a couple of circles, so you're feeling how the hip is opening. And then put the foot down like we did when we were on our back on the left thigh. And you can hold the right leg so it's not so much on the knee, and just hinge forward. So we're keeping the alignment in the hip. And one more breath. Really good. So we're going to put the foot down now on the mat next to the left leg, and we're twisting to the right, pressing the foot down. Now we're going to take that same leg, we're coming back to the center, out, so like a tree pose. So foot is on the inside of the left leg, and let's hinge forward. So we're getting into the hip. And just take it easy as you do this, wherever you're comfortable. Now as we come on up, let's twist again to the right. And then over to the left, just so you could feel the difference. And back to the center. And let's stretch that right leg out and take a breath, just kind of notice the difference. And let's hinge forward again, a few rowboats, lengthening forward and back. So we're really working the hamstrings here, but we're strengthening the whole leg because it all works together, the quads, the hamstrings. And one more time. Then we're going to put our hands down behind our hips. Inhale, looking up, squeezing the shoulder blades. And then release. So now we're going to try our left leg, bending it, and do the little rock-a-baby here. Holding the leg, making some circles. Wherever it's comfortable, and however this hip feels. Might be a little different. You can go in both directions. And we're trying to keep the alignment in the hip. And now we're going to put the left foot down on the right thigh. And just see how that feels. Kind of hinge forward. You can hold the left leg if your knee bothers you. Or you could stick your block underneath the left knee. A couple more deep breaths. And then as we come up, we're going to put the foot down on the inside of the right leg somewhere and twist to the left, hugging that knee in. And then let's release that and do our tree pose. So the foot is next to the right leg and we're hinging forward. And a couple more breaths. Really good. We're going to sit up slowly and twist to the left. And then twist to the right. And then back to the center. We're going to straighten our left leg and feel. Hopefully it feels pretty good now. Let's try our rowboats again. So lengthening, hinging forward and back, using our hamstrings. This is our last time. We're going to put our hands down by our hips and looking up, lifting up through the chest. And then release. So now let's come into our table stretch. We're going to bend the knees and lift the hips up. And let's do 5 tricep push-ups, bending the arms, straightening the arms. And we're going to bring our bottoms down and do that big V with our feet, feet together and hinge forward. Kind of putting it all together. Let's take a few breaths. Really good. And we're going to come into a little squat here. So see how our hips are, putting that weight into the hips. Use your blocks if you need to. And a couple more deep breaths. And now hands down, lifting the hips up for our forward fold. And just be gentle here. Let the head hang and chest is right on our thighs, so you don't have to bend the knees, or I mean you can, but however it's comfortable. Looking underneath the legs, and we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Yay, and we're finally standing up. Let's reach the arms up, stretching in a little back bend, and bring our hands to our heart. We're going to twist the upper body to the right, and then to the left, back to the center. Inhale up, forward fold, and let's step our right leg back, and we're in a lunge. We're going to lengthen. Hopefully your hips feel a little better. Reach the left arm up, spinal twist. And then we're going to come back, downward dog. So use your blocks if you need to. Let's lift the right leg up. We're going to step it forward. And then the left. And try our rolling up again, one vertebrae at a time. And feel that big stretch upwards and back bend. Hands to our heart. Twist the upper body to the left and then to the right and the center. Inhale up, forward fold, and we're going to step the left leg back in our lunge and breathe. And then right arm comes up in a spinal twist. And step back to downward dog. So one of the hardest things that people always say is what we're going to do now, lifting the leg up, left leg up, and stepping it forward. So that's why we were doing all of those hip stretches. So let's step the right forward and roll up. And reach the arms up and bring our hands to our heart. So now we're going to step the right foot right behind the left foot. We're going to work on a little balance. Press the feet down. And then take our left foot right behind the right heel, the big toe. And try it again. Walk backwards, right foot behind the left. And one more time, left big toe behind the right heel. Now we're going to take our right leg and lift it up and down. Point the toe 5 times. And one more. And just put the foot down next to the other one and then switch. Bring the left leg out and lift and lower 5 times. And one more. And then both feet down. So now we're going to lift the right knee up and put the foot down. Left knee up. So we're going to high step like this, slowly forward to the top of our mat. And just notice how we're using the hip. It's kind of like a big bicycle. And bringing the knee up. And then hopefully you're at the top of the mat. Let's inhale our arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Let's step back, downward dog, and take 3 breaths. And we're going to come into our plank. And let's try a dog and a plank. And then come back to a plank and take 3 breaths here. And let's come all the way down, knees, chest and chin, and try our 5 cobras. And then we're going to press back to child's pose. And walk our arms to the right. And then over to the left. And to the center and lengthen. Let's try our puppy pose, lifting our hips up. And we're going to sit back into child's pose. And let's sit up on our heels and twist to the right. And then twist to the left. Really good. And at the center, just take a couple of breaths, feeling your spine lengthen. And then hands hands and knees, and a few cat-cows. And take your time with this movement. Feel how the spine is gently moving with your breath. Let's do one more. And then a neutral spine. Let's lift our hips up. We're coming back to downward dog. And lengthening, pressing the hands down. Now let's lift our right leg up. Step it forward to a lunge. Reaching the arms up for high lunge, practicing our balance. We're twisting to the right, crossing our left arm over, hands together. And left fingertips down, right arm up. Coming back to down dog. Left leg lifts up. We're going to step it forward. And let's come on up in our high lunge. And we're reaching our arms up. And then twisting to the left. Crossing the arm over, hands together. And right fingertips down, left arm up. Let's come back to down dog. And notice this balance between the hands pressing down and the hips lifting up. Your heels might not come down. You'd rather have the lift in the hip. Now we're going to walk to the top of our mat. Hold our elbows in our forward fold. And let's come all the way up, reaching the arms up, and another little back bend. Hands to our heart. And we're going to try our tree pose. Let's press our left foot down. And you could bring the right foot up on the leg if you want, or keep the big toe down on the mat. And let's take a few breaths here. We're going to reach our arms up. Now let's take our right leg out to the right, lean to the left. And we're bringing the leg in and out 5 times. And then putting our right foot down. And when you're ready, bring the left leg up for tree. Arms up. Left leg out to the left as we lean to the right. And now we're bringing the leg in and out 5 times. And then foot down. Let's bring our arms down by our sides. So our fingers are like antennas. We're rolling the shoulders down. We're feeling how long our spine is. Standing up nice and tall. Now we're going to lift our right knee up. Let's hold that right knee into the chest. We're going to hold that leg with the right hand. Bring our left arm out and bring that leg open and close just a couple times. We're getting all this hip stuff in last time. And then right foot down. Let's bring our arms up again to kind of reset the pose. Arms in goal post. Feel that lengthening of our spine. And then left knee up and hug that leg in to the chest. Now hold on with your left hand. Bring the right arm out and bring the left leg in and out. It's a challenging one. One more time. Really good. And then left foot down and just feel. Feel like we're stretching the legs, the feet down into the earth. Now we're going to inhale our arms up, forward fold. Let's step back, downward dog, and take 3 breaths. And we're going to bring our right leg up, and let's come into warrior 2 and use our block. So put the block on the inside of our right foot. And let's come into warrior 2 and see if we can make the pose a little deeper, wider with the legs. And the chest is opening at the same time. Now let's come in reverse, left arm down and right arm up, and bend a little deeper into the hip. Now let's take our forearm down to the right thigh and bring the left arm over. And breathe and lengthen. And we're coming back to reverse, left arm down and right arm up. And let's take our hand, our right hand down to the block, left arm up. So it's a little deeper into the hip. Really good. We're going to come on up to warrior 2, 3 breaths. And straighten the leg. Let's come into our wide-legged pose, reach the arms up. And then our forward fold. And while you're down here, kind of slide your block over to the left side of your mat. And let's take 3 breaths here, letting the head hang. And now we're going to come up using the legs, reaching the arms up, another little back bend. And then into our warrior 2. So we're going to adjust that block so it's on the inside of our left foot. And let's roll the shoulders down in our warrior 2. And then reverse, right arm down and left arm up. And now our left forearm comes down to the thigh, right arm over. And breathe. Let's come back to reverse. Right arm down and left arm up. And then left hand down to our block. Right arm up. And breathe. Really good. Let's come back to our warrior 2 and take 3 slow breaths. And we're going to straighten our left leg. We're going to reach our arms up, lengthening our spine. And let's take our hands down and like downward dog arms, press the hips away from us and lengthen and take a few more breaths. And then we're going to walk our hands underneath or between the legs and come into a deeper forward fold for 3 breaths. You can move your block out of the way. And as we start to come a little deeper, feel that hinging from the hips. And 1 more breath. See if you can bend your legs here. And we're going to put our fingertips on the mat like an umpire and roll the shoulders down. And then inhale and come all the way up. And let's come into downward dog. And breathe. Let's come into an up dog. We're going to come forward. And I'm on the top of my feet here, but you can see if that's comfortable. And then come into our child's pose. We're going to sit up on our heels again and put our hands down or use your blocks. We're going to lift the hips, keeping the knees down, stretching the quads. And a couple more deep breaths. We're going to sit back on the heels. So the quads, we want them really strong, but we also just in yoga in general have to stretch everything out. So it's kind of a conundrum, isn't it? Let's come to hands and knees, and we're going to come into bird dog. Right leg up behind us, left arm in front. Bend the right leg, flexing the foot and straightening 5 times. Keeping the hips even. And 1 more. And then that comes down to the mat. And we're going to switch. Left leg, right arm, bending as with that flexed foot and straightening 5 times. And 1 more. And then bring that hand down. Let's inhale. We're going to reach the arms up. We're on our knees. We're going to do another back bend. Really good. Let's come into child's pose. And breathe deeply. 1 more breath. Let's come into downward dog. And we're going to walk to the top of our mat. And roll all the way up. And let's come in another back bend, lengthening the spine. Hands to our heart. And breathe, feeling Tadasana, the mountain pose. And then we're going to come down in our squat, so you could use your blocks if you need to. Let's see how our hips and our back is. And take a few more breaths. And 3 more breaths. And now we're going to roll down and let's bring our knees to our chest. And feel the difference in your body. Kind of rock your hips or make some circles. And go in both directions. And let's bring our feet down and knees over to the right in our spinal twist. And turn our head to the left and breathe. And then bring ourselves over the legs over to the left. And head turns to the right and breathe. Relaxing completely so you feel how the ribs are opening with your breath. Nice slow inhales and exhales. And then we're going to bring ourselves back to the center. And we're going to use our block, 1 or 2 depending, and lift the hips up, put that block underneath you, and just feel for a second. And then let's lift our legs up in Viparita Karani, so draining the legs after all that movement, coming into stillness for a few moments. And watching the breath coming in and going out. Gently closing our eyes. And if your mind wanders, focus on the breath, the slow inhales and slow exhales. Notice how the jaw is relaxing as the head presses down into your mat. And our chin is slightly tucked. Feel how all the energy is draining from the legs, and all of that energy is coming into the thyroid, into the brain. And with each breath, we're wishing ourselves good health and harmony to all of our cells, all of our molecules. And you're welcome to continue just staying in this pose and feeling. And let's take 3 conscious breaths, nice and slowly. Notice the feeling in your chest as you're breathing, and how the exhale comes all the way down. You feel it in your belly, and the slight drawing in the navel area. And if you're going to end class with us, you can bend your knees and put your feet on the mat and just feel. Now let's lift our hips and take the block away, and we're going to roll to the side and press ourselves up to a seated position. and bring our hands to our heart to seal in our practice today together. Feel the difference. We're wishing peace for our brothers and sisters everywhere. Let's take a deep inhale and sigh. One more time. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. I hope you feel good.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Marianne.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
great.
you.
All right. Bye.